Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Mayfield Felton, and I'm so happy to be with you tonight. Today is a Monday, and we are inching ever closer to Christmas, to a holiday celebration. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, not sure what you celebrate, but 'tis the season to celebrate something, right? It is almost the last week of December. And I don't know about you, but I went to work today and I had a really productive day. I had several packages delivered, one of the humankind. My bonus daughter flew in today, so I'm so glad to see her. She's downstairs with her brother. They're playing on the computer. They missed each other. It's so cool to see them talk and catch up. I am actually just finished cooking dinner, just took the cheesy garlic bread out of the oven, made some spaghetti, and it's cooling while I make this video. So husband is upstairs. If you hear noise creaking around, he's getting ready for work. And as soon as I said that, I hear footsteps. So there's a lot of activity going on in the Felton abode today, and I'm so happy about it. I wanted to actually talk about that very thing, the activity and being blessed and blended. I have a blended family. I have three bonus children. One lives in England. The other two are obviously one's in California that just came here, and the other one lives with us. Two girls and a boy. And let me tell you, coordinating family activities around the holidays is definitely a joy when you have children that may not live with you or are coming to visit. And I'm not gonna get too heavy, deep, and real because I know that that situation is tough for a lot of families, and the navigating the compromises, the conversations that parents need to have about where their children are going and who they're spending time with and how they're getting there, the logistics of it, all the things can be quite stressful. And I want to speak to the families that are beautifully blended tonight and say that you and your family are such a blessing. I have three tips as a stepmom twice. I prefer the term bonus mom that I would like to share with you when it comes to navigating family activities and your children pretty much of any age. So just to give you some context, I have had bonus children from the age of 2 to teenagers, and then from preteen up to the ages that they are now. And one of the biggest things that a bonus parent or step parent, if you prefer that, can do is to learn how to communicate what you need to your spouse and to your family. So kids are the center. They're not the center, but they're the hub of the home. So around the holidays, a lot of activities are designed around what the kids are going to be doing, who they're going to visit. And if you live a good distance from family members, or if your family members are not used to seeing your children that you inherited through marriage, or your own children by birth, then there's some time that you need to dedicate so that they can see family, or at least if that is what you desire. Here's my tip: have a plan. And if you can't have a plan, at least have a conversation prior to a major holiday. One of the benefits of being in partnership with someone that is your friend and that you love is that typically you know that when you're being married to someone, if they have kids, you understand the dynamic of the family, and you can desire to have a household that either mimics your childhood or mimics theirs. So I don't want to get too focused on the work that one needs to do prior to yoking up. There's work involved when you have children involved. So do that work. That might be a video for another day. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit and say, you've done the work. You understand what your gives and your takes are in the relationship and as it relates to your children. So now you're at that point where it's the holidays and everybody wants to see the kids and whose house are we going to, what are we doing. I want to encourage you to first and foremost gain agreement with your partner, with the person that you are married to. So if you have children that came from you and they're not your spouse's kids or vice versa, have a conversation before the holidays about what you would like to accomplish through the holiday. Is there a place where you want to go as a family? What type of memories do you want to make? Have a conversation around who you'd like to visit and what you want your children's experience to be before they return back to their parent or to college or wherever they are. And also ask the part 2 question, what memories do you want to have with your children? Now, this is a full-on conversation and it can go a lot of different ways. You don't have to necessarily have a time by time, date by date checklist of the things you want to do unless your family rolls like that. But you can definitely start off with a conversation and say, hey, I need some time with your kids just for me or with me, or I would like to have some time alone with my family, and then I'd like to also have some time with your family and this family. You know, just figure out what the moving parts are and then see how you can not just compromise, but see how you can fit all of that in. Notice this is a conversation before the kids even come on the scene. Try to have some understanding of what your partner desires in either direction, if you're the bonus parent or whether they're your biological kids. Tip number 2 is once you have a semblance of a plan, this is for both adults, do yourself a favor and really pull on that grace button and have some empathy, because this can be a hot topic for a lot of folks. And if there is a touchy area or a touchy subject, this is why it's better to have the conversation before the kids are in the home or the child is in the home. Give yourself time and space to hear each other out and to gain some sort of agreement. I am not a counselor, but I have been a step parent twice, and so I have made some mistakes. I have not necessarily communicated. So there's a lot of different landmines that kind of blew up in my situation. So in 3 points, I want to just give you the best tips that I can to help you navigate, and then you can go from there. This isn't a drive-by on family counseling. This is not that type of video. This is getting through the holidays and getting through the holidays in a way that allows your family to make new memories, that allows every member of the family to enjoy the holiday and experience one another. And even if that means having some time alone. So once you and your partner, have a conversation, you've kind of got a plan, engage your child. Now, depending on the age, it may be what do you think? Maybe they're not old enough to understand or articulate what they want, but if they are, ask them, what would you like to do? And climbing the Eiffel Tower may not be in the budget, may not be something that they can do, but at least have the question and ask the question and then give them some boundaries that they can choose from. You might be surprised that the goals that you have for activities, places to go, and experiences, you all may be in lockstep, and that is always the sweet spot. If there is, not necessarily that congruency, explain what you can do and explain what you are unable to do in the time frame. And the third item is really focusing on family expectations. You have family, or you may have family and friends that are having a desire to see the family, the big family unit. Have these conversations with both sides of the family and say, hey, We want to see you. We want a fellowship. We actually want to bring the kids and have a great time. Let me just share with you some of the expectations that the kids have, or how can we incorporate an activity in our family, if that's not your biological family, that makes the kids feel like there's one big happy family. There are so many things that we have in common, in a variety of family units, traditions that may or may not resonate with the child. There are new opportunities to say, hey, I know you did this with your family. We do it a different way. Let me share with you how we do it, and make it very welcoming and inviting. Those are just 3 easy tips. Did I just say easy? Ha ha ha. I'm going to run that back. Those are 3 tips that I think will get you started on your way. And the reason that I'm talking about this, as I said at the top, I have a blended family and we want to have a good time. And the older that they get, their needs change. And in order to have memories that are positive and that will last a lifetime, it requires intention. It requires prayer. It requires conversation, and oftentimes sacrifice, either of your time, or sacrifice of some of your family members that say, hey, I know we did this last year, but this year we have, a new addition to my family, and we're going to do some things differently. And we'd love to invite you, but the primary focus is that we want the kids to have X experience. We want us to grow together as a family. And if you want to be a part of that and sharing that with us, then come on. But if that's not something that you can fit in, we'll definitely have future opportunities. One of the things that I want everyone to hear me say is that it's really important to be honest and to be flexible. I'm looking over there because I know me, there are a lot of times that I have not been flexible, and I didn't want to give that inch or the mile. And because I have a heart for my husband, I love his children, and it can't always be what I want. And I want to make memories. I remember the first time I heard that, my neighbor, and I'll never forget this. I was in the 8th grade, and for some reason we missed the bus. And she saw me and another young lady, and she was just like, you all missed the bus? And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble. She's like, no, it's okay. She was, a neighbor, a safe neighbor. We had a small community, so she knew my parents, and she was a wonderful person. We didn't know her that well, but she looked out for everybody in the neighborhood. And she said, I'll tell you what, why don't we go get some breakfast? And I will take you all to school, because I have an errand to run that I have to run, and we're going to pass by this place. And so she reached out to my parents, reached out to my neighbor's parents, and said, hey, I've got the kids. For some reason, I don't know why we missed the bus, but I've got them. They're safe. They are going to be late to school. I just want you to know that I am going to take them. And so she took us to this place where I think for the first time I had waffles with a whole bunch of syrup and whipped cream. I was, I've had waffles before, but in a nice little diner type situation before school. And I was just like, oh boy, this is like amazing. It was so unexpected. We still went to school. We got to school by, I think, before the end of second period. And it was just a great day. Like, it was just a really cool experience. And so my mom called the neighbor to thank her that evening. And she actually ended up coming over. She was just like, hey, I just want to let you know, I still don't know why the kids missed the bus. I don't know if the bus came early. And then my mom was like, you didn't have to do that. Karen said you all took her to breakfast. You all had a really good time. And her response was, my goal today was to make memories. And I still remember that even to this day, at the ripe old age of 50. This was 40 plus years ago. And so that's the message I leave with you. No matter who said what, no matter the family dynamics, no matter whether relationships are healed or difficult, when children are involved, the question that I want all of us to ask ourselves is, how can we make memories that they will want to remember? And how can we do things as a family to celebrate one another and to really, understand the true meaning, of Christmas or whatever it is that you celebrate. I don't want to just make it about Christmas, but the important thing is, what can we do to make memories that will last in their hearts and minds for a lifetime? That's the message. I hope you all have a good evening. I smell the spaghetti. Food is getting cold, so I'm going to get my tribe ready and let them know that they can come and we can have dinner together tonight. Till tomorrow. I like this shoulder thing. I like doing it. Y'all going to be like, she need to stop. Whatever. Till tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye.